Hello, I am so excited that you are here today, and I want to ask you a question. If you knew that when you did something that it would grow your business, would you do it? Well, that is the question today, and many of you would actually tell me no to the question that I'm going to ask you, and that is hiring people, right? I can tell you that over the years, it took me a long time to decide that hiring people was a good option for my business because I had limiting beliefs around hiring people. And I want to walk through not only those limiting beliefs, but also the top 2 people that you need to accelerate the growth in your business that will not break the bank. I think the majority of us think we need to be making some ridiculous amount of money. I used to think I needed to be making $1 million to hire people. I will tell you that in order to make $1 million, you need to have hired people. And so let's talk about that. So why do you need people? Because I think the majority of us think, well, I just don't have a lot for these people to be doing. So I don't really think that it's something that I need. So I wanted to give you an example of just a few tasks that as a small business, and by the way, small business is any business that's under 500 employees. So 500 employees and smaller. So if you actually know a business that's making billions upon billions of dollars and they have 498 people, technically they are a small business. So small business has nothing to do with the income, it's the amount of people that it employs. So when you're a small business, that is a party of one, solopreneur, all the way to 500 people. Crazy, right? So it has nothing to do with income level. So when you think about it, a small business, large or, 500 people or one, has a lot of things in common. And it's the activities that need to be happening in these businesses. And I wanted to show you just a healthy smattering of things that your business needs to be doing. I've harped on this in previous lessons, but sales, right? If you want to run a business, you've got to have sales. 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up with technical integrations with different systems. You care deeply about your customer retention, your customer fulfillment, your customer support, and you're going to need to be doing some advertising. You're going to need to do some social media content. You're going to need copywriting. You're going to need content for your courses or in ways of serving your people, whatever that is, whether it's a service or not. You're going to need content for that, right? You're going to need some sort of promotional calendar. Again, if you're a brick and mortar, if you are an online business, you need a promo calendar. And every business needs accounting work done. They need public relations. Think about PR opportunities with other brands, other opportunities, getting on a podcast. You need email marketing. You need lead generation. So I hope that, and video editing, I hope that I have not freaked you out by sharing that. But what I'm saying, first and foremost, is you might be saying to yourself, I don't have a lot for these people to do. And my friend, you do. Now, how do I know this? My name is Emily Hawkins, and I spent 15 years in the corporate world streamlining processes for productive results. I left the corporate world in April of 2017. I opened my own business and took all of those streamlining processes with me to become a profitable organization with a very lean team. And I want to teach you these strategies so that no matter how big or small your team is, you can profitably scale your business sooner rather than later because the world needs exactly what you do. So let's get into this. We've talked a little bit about why you need people, right? So you think I don't have as much for them to do, but I just showed you there's so much you need to be doing, right? Now, I want to talk about a limiting belief that I had. My comfort zone was around doing the work, right? Not doing new things, but doing the things that I knew. So there were so many things that I knew how to do that because I wasn't hiring people, I wasn't giving myself the bandwidth to learn new skills, that my business desperately needed to grow. So when you are not hiring people, you are actually hindering your growth as a business, because you, as the owner, need to have a little bit of white space in your day to learn new systems, learn new processes, learn new strategies, so that you are constantly ahead of the market, not behind it. But that only happens if you employ helpers. Now, the next thing that you might be saying is, well, that sounds really great, Emily, but I don't have the money to be hiring people. Well, I will tell you right now that you can't afford not to be hiring people. So let's go down this path of not hiring people. You've not hired a soul, you are not hiring people, and sales are coming in. Well, what's going to start happening is you're going to struggle to grow. So you're going to reach a point and all of a sudden you're going to plateau. What? Why am I going to plateau? Well, when you don't hire people, when you have a lot of sales, you have no way of loving those people, right? You have no way of deeply caring for those people. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, yes, Emily, I can do that to a point. Then there's going to be a point where people are going to be asking for password resets. They're going to be asking for, hey, do you have this going on? I need a refund. And by the way, the more customers you have without some sort of support from a team, the more refunds you'll have. And your growth will be stunted. All of a sudden, you will have angry customers because you are not loving those people. Or maybe, just maybe, you don't have a single sale. And in your mind, your selling is because you are the problem. But are you really the problem? So I want to share a story with you. When I launched my first course, I did it myself. Shoestring budget, right? I did it all myself. I built the thing. I did some marketing courses because I felt like marketing was the thing that I needed. So I did a marketing course. And I finally launched after many years of selling one-to-one. I actually launched a course so I could do one-to-many. And I actually had quite a few people purchase. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. I know what I'm doing. So I am going to be launching this full scale. I'm going to run ads to it. I'm going to do all the things. Well, I didn't know because I wasn't keeping data on what I was doing. And nobody was there asking me questions. I had no employees. And what I very quickly found out 2 months later is that I had launched to a warm audience. Now, that would have saved me a lot of money if I had had somebody actually keeping tabs on what was going on. How long these people had been on my email list, how long they'd been in my ecosphere. And then I would have figured out very quickly I had actually just been selling to a warm audience that happened to know me, like, and trust me already. But that's not what happened when I started launching to colder and colder audiences. Now, the next piece of this is I spent 6 months trying to figure out how to get people to purchase. And again, if I'd had the right team member beside me, I would have realized there was an order to this operation. And I would have been able to objectively look at the process versus turning it into a limiting belief exercise, right? So I can tell you after that original launch, my thought, which happened to not be true, was that I was great at sales, man. I was so great at sales. I could sell anything to anyone. Well, I just told you that wasn't actually true because I happened to be launching to an audience that already knew me. They knew who I was. They knew what I was, all the things. And so it wasn't real data. So I didn't know that though, right? So then when I started launching again and failed for 6 months, more like 4 months I failed, launch over launch over launch, fail, fail, fail. I could have easily made that about myself, right? And I did at first. Ugh, I suck at marketing. Ugh, I suck at copywriting. I suck at these things. And then a lot of people stop right there because they're like, well, I'm just not cut out for this. But what happens when you have people on your team is that you have a different perspective. And this is where I want to talk about one of my first hires. And it was the best decision that I made. And this was data analytics. I needed somebody that took the emotion out of the business. So as a business owner, you are blind to what's working. You are blind to your inefficiencies, and you are blind to why you are successful. It is so easy to say that I am successful because of blah, blah, blah. That's an emotion. That is me as a person saying that. That's a theory, right? But the greatest thing about data analytics, that ain't theory, my friends. It is cold, hard facts. But the most beautiful thing is it's objective. So as much as I want to say, oh my gosh, this graphic was just so great. It drew us to blah, blah, blah. It got us all these people. Data analytics tells me the real story. And having somebody that knows what they're looking for, and by the way, don't worry, I got you on this one, and what we need to be measuring and what it's telling us, well, that's key to the business. It helps you take those blinders off and see the full picture, that maybe it wasn't the graphic, maybe it was 5 other things in the process. But you won't know unless you have that data analytics person, because they are giving you that ability. So a great example of this is, if I said to you, your baby is ugly, what would you say? Like, wow, that's mean, right? It is mean. That's also subjective, right? It's subjective and it's emotional. Whereas if I said that your sales are the lowest in August, that is a fact if you have data behind it, and it is objective. There is no emotion in that game. And let me just tell you, as a business owner, it is easy to get emotions tied up in all this. And one of the greatest people, I like to call them the catcher of your team, is that data analytics person that can tell you the true story, the things that are happening under the hood. It's incredibly important to have, because if you are not measuring things, you cannot fix them. In fact, if you're not measuring things, you don't even know what to fix. I have worked with so many people that think that they need to fix their course, when in reality, they need to fix their marketing. And it's not even their marketing, it's maybe a landing page or ad copy, right? You don't know any of this without your data analytics person. Don't want to throw that baby out with the bathwater. Your data analytics person is the one that will make sure that you don't do that you make the right moves, you do strategic moves. And I don't know about you, but I learned a long time ago, order of operations. Remember that in math class, order of operations? It's incredibly important when you change things. And it's incredibly important when you're looking at your data analytics. They are the ones that will tell you the order of operations, what we need to focus on next, what needs to be a priority, what's going to make us the most money. If we fix it, what will actually amplify our business? What? Yes, this person is incredibly powerful, right? You do not want to miss that. So I will tell you, these are things that my operations, well, actually, you know what? I don't want to give you that just yet, because there's another key person here that I want you to think about. And if you don't have this person, you will stunt your growth. And I know this because I didn't have this person for a really long time. So when I started my business, and I might have shared this with you guys before, but I think it's worth noting, I wanted to look super cool. And I wanted to have in my webinars, which I used to do, don't do webinars anymore, but I used to. In my webinars, I wanted to have a slide that was like, if you don't like my stuff or you have questions, you can email support@emilyhawkinsforyou.com. It was an email address, like a vanity email address that actually just linked back to my personal email. So it was just me. I was support. And as I grew, that was very dangerous for a couple of reasons. Hey, Emily, I need a password reset. Is that the best use of my time as a business owner? Not really. But there was something else that started to happen. Something I don't really want to talk about, but I think you need to know about, which was, Emily, I would like a refund. Your product is garbage. What? They didn't say your product is garbage, but that's what it felt like, right? And so I realized I needed a buffer between me and the customer. Not for when I was fulfilling, when I was serving the clients, when I was having, Q&As and all of that. Not that. But setting up those Q&As and what was a good time to have those Q&As. What do people need? How can we make the product better? What's missing? Why are we getting these refunds? And if the refund is warranted, somebody else doing that and not me. Because anytime I got those refund messages, my soul would die for like a good 24 hours. Which, by the way, meant I was doing nothing for 24 hours except wallowing in my misery. Waste of time, right? I didn't say that I was taking that information and like creating something better. I was just being sad. Not serving me. Not serving me and not even serving the customers, right? And that is why I ended up hiring a customer success manager, director of customer support. So you can call this person a customer success manager, director of customer support. You can call them whatever you want. What I will tell you is this is one of the most invaluable people on your team. Why? Well, because they create a buffer between you and that customer so that when a refund comes through, it might not even be warranted, right? You need some great language around that. You need a refund policy if you offer refunds. That's one thing, but somebody's got to share that with the customer because 9 times out of 10, they don't remember that they checked that box or that they read the thing or that they signed it. And so you need somebody that reminds them in a nice way, right, of this thing. So your soul doesn't die, right, over something that this person doesn't even need this, So there's that. But don't you want referrals? Don't you want business for free? Because that's really what a referral is. And let's talk about what actually causes a referral. An amazing fulfillment experience. So what's fulfillment? That's like a really boring word, right? So let's use a normal word that you and I would use on a daily basis. Well, it's me taking your course, me taking your service, getting something from you, right? Maybe you created a journal. I'm going to purchase that journal from you. How fast it got there and how well I was communicated to, and did I even understand what was going on, right? An online course, for instance, is it really set up correctly? I can tell you that mine was not. I didn't know that, right? I created this thing that I thought was so amazing and that everybody was going to love and everybody was going to need. They did, but there were holes. Only because of our customer support, answering people's questions, seeing similar questions over and over again, bringing them to my attention. Hey, Emily, I'm seeing a lot of people asking this question. Could you create a training in the course so that we stop getting this question? Yes. And then it takes the hours that she's down, right? And then it also surprises and delights the people that are in the course. Oh my gosh, she answered my question. This is so cool. I needed this. I'm so glad she added this to the course. Well, guess what? Because that lesson was added, I can think of 3 in particular that our customer support person recommended because of questions that she was fielding. Because of those, our referral rate went up about 40%. 40%! AKA, free people were sent to us that ended up investing in our program. And let me just tell you about this really neat thing that I learned. I think it was in Algebra 2, the quadratic equation. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Wow, that is really weird that I know that. It's not. My Algebra 2 teacher taught us that to row, row, row your boat, so I can actually sing it to that. If you teach me anything with a song, I'm going to remember it. That's mainly a joke here, but that is legit. It did happen. But the reason I'm sharing that with you is because that formula is exponential. So it's not one person comes in and they refer one person. It can be one person comes in and they refer 2 people, that refer 5 people, that refer 7 people, and da 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 da. That is how you grow your business. But it only happens if you are fulfilling these people at an exceptional rate. And let's talk about that for a minute. You charge people X, but you actually give them Y. So you charge them $1, but you give $20 of value. And that $20 of value comes in the form of customer support. Did the teacher hear me and serve me well? That's what that's all about. And so that value comes in this person who sees things that you don't see because you are so close to it, right? So they help you take the blinders off, just like the data analytics person, right? And the data analytics person also on the back end is like, hey, we're getting all these people for free. Cool, right? So now you know that things are working correctly. So I want to talk about your students are your best teachers if you are listening. But you can only be listening if you have that customer support person that is this objective point of view that sees things that you don't. Like I said before, when I got a refund request from people, it would make me so nervous. What she does is walks through a series of questions, sometimes educating people on what is needed, and then finding out we had holes, creating those, and all of a sudden our refund rates dropped like a rock. We rarely have that. And it's because of what she did. So I want to lay out for you what these 2 people created for me. So we have higher open rates because of data analytics and customer support. Here's the beautiful thing about customer support. She became the avatar queen for us. She knows what our people need. She understands our people better than I even do after working with them, because she sees what we call the dark side, which is they're up at 2 a.m. and they are frustrated about something. She's the one who gets those emails. She's the one who gets the emails of somebody dying of cancer. She's the one, I mean, seriously, we get some dark emails. But what she so beautifully does for me is she brings the light to them. How can we bring light to people's lives when things feel desperate or off or wrong? How can we do this? So she knows our people. She knows our people better than I do, like I said. Now, like I said before, streamlining course trainings. We learned very quickly that some of the ways the lessons were designed, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, didn't make sense. And only because she kept getting some questions, we rearranged some things. We decided to have some break periods within the course so that there were catch-up days. This was all because of a customer success, customer support, you can call them whatever you want, person on the team. Incredibly important to have. We also were able to get more results for our customers. That's the whole point, right? More transformations. And the reason we were able to get more transformations is we had higher open rates on those emails. So more people were actually reading the emails and understanding what we did. More people were joining, and then they were getting fulfilled in a way that they'd never been before. And so our referral rates went through the roof and our transformations went through the roof because we were serving at a deeper level, which again, increased those transformations. So also something else that we realized very quickly was we were offering our product at a very cheap price to start, because let's go back to when I first started my program. I didn't know what I was doing. And so I kept thinking the price was the problem. Again, if I'd had data analytics and customer support from the beginning, I wouldn't have done what I did, which was discount the crap out of my stuff, thinking that was the problem. That was not the problem, my friends. You know why? Because when my customer support person came on board, the first thing she said was, "This is too cheap. For what you offer and the results that people are receiving, you need to up this price." So we did. We upped it about 7 different times. It was intense every time we did it. I worried about it. She always said, nope, it's going to be great. And guess what else happened? Better people showed up. Now, I don't mean better people as in somebody's better than somebody else. What I meant is the commitment level of these people was so much higher. The more you charge, depending on what it is, the higher the commitment level you're going to get from people if the perceived value is there. And so we ended up with higher commitment rates, which the more somebody's committed, the likelihood they're going to get a transformation back to more referrals, right? So our average rate of what people were paying was going up, and we were getting more referrals and more transformations, referrals. You can that ends up being like an infinity thing, which is great. And that was really one of the most shocking things. Out of 2 hires, people that work less than 10 hours a week for me. I want to just throw that in for you guys. So back to, do you have enough for these people to do? Well, let's look again at this list. You've got enough for these people to do, right? Can you afford these people? Can you afford somebody for 10 hours a week? Pick one. Data analytics, customer support. Pick one. I would recommend picking the customer support person first and then going into data analytics. If you're more of a data analytics junkie like I am, do data analytics first. Either way, you're going to have so many amazing insights. And again, you don't need lots and lots of hours. Now, little commercial break. In Leadership Operating System, I teach you how to find these people, what to pay these people, the job descriptions that you need to have for these people, and how to onboard these people. Oh, snap, drop the mic. I know. It's the stuff you don't want to do that I have done for you. After years of figuring it out, I think it's my gift to you to be able to serve you in a deep, meaningful way so that you are spending your time serving your customers and loving these amazing people that you bring on board, but loving them the right way and streamlining it all of it and making sure that you are able to get these amazing benefits that I was telling you about today. If you are interested in that, I would love for you to put SHIFT, SHIFT, in the comments, and I will reach out to you personally to see if this is a good fit for you. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon.